There he is.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I had to download the app.
Can you hear Brandon?
Brandon's not saying anything.
Brandon, say something.
Yo,
Yeah, I can hear him.
Brandon, are you gonna flash us at some point during this?
am I gonna flash you?
Yeah. What is
No,
it? Tank? Is it tank season, boys? Like, did I not get the memo?
you're just being a little baby. That's what it is.
I didn't.
Why?
It's
Why are you the only big person on the screen right now?
because you do. You got to change it to the grid view, not speaker view.
It's weird. I have it on grid view.
We did this last week, guys.
Oh yeah, it's whoever's talking. That's why.
No, I can still see both of you guys, but Dean's like the forefront of it, and Ryan's in a little small circle next to me.
Are you sure it's grid view?
Whoever's talking.
Yeah, it's definitely in grid view.
I don't know. It does it for me.
Yeah, it was weird. It was working like that for me last week.
All right, Ryan. No more flipping off the camera. This goes on YouTube.
We're already recording?
Yeah. I'll cut it out. I mean, what do we have to talk about this week? I mean, I was going to bring up the college baseball thing.
That's a good idea.
I guess like the NFL, just any Cam Newton rumors.
There's some rumors.
And then that's really all I got. Anything else for the NFL?
Let me check.
Anything for baseball? Any big stories from you, Brandon?
So close, and now it's just like nothing.
I don't think there's really anything's gone on, to be honest. It's going to be tough for us to come together with some stuff.
Well, that's the thing. Everyone's just making lists now. It's just, you know what I mean? It's just like top 10 this, best first baseman from every team.
It's what they do when there's nothing going on. They're like,
that's what I mean.
Who's better, LeBron or Michael Jordan? God, I hate that debate.
Well, that's why that's why I sent you guys that thing of like, do you guys want to do our, best Padres lineup of all time? Just because I was like, I don't know what else to talk. We got to come up with something, some kind of bullshit.
I was thinking about it. I'm like, I'm pretty sure we're all going to have the same. I mean, outside of a couple positions, it's going to be like, it's not like we have that of a history of just studs.
Studs, yeah. It would come down to like personal preference at that point.
Hey, who's your favorite like favorite
right fielder?
NFL jerseys?
All right, we could do that. I'll put it in there.
Yeah, we'll have to get creative on like a bunch of like opinion things.
Yeah.
I just can't think of anything.
I feel like my lineup might be a little bit different than your guys' lineup.
We can still do it. I'm not opposed to doing it. Just don't be surprised if we're all agreeing on like 75% of the lineup.
I don't know. A lot of my like favorite Padre players are people my dad liked.
So you're going like 80s Padres?
Yeah. Some of them. I mean, not all of them.
Well,
yeah.
If anyone, if Quinn's not our right fielder, you guys are rough.
Hold on.
Yeah, my favorite right fielder, Travis Jankowski. No, just kidding.
I will say this: I did like Reggie Sanders. Remember him?
No.
He only played for us for a couple of years. Yeah, Reggie used to hit like 25 to 30 bombs a year. Had like a 300 batting average. I think we got him for like, he was like Greg Vaughn or one of those guys. He was like a package deal from the Reds. Let's see.
All right, so should we just do it?
We can do our top 5 NBA starting 5.
I mean, I would need time to research that. That'd be like
Really
a
not.
next week thing.
It's really not that hard. LeBron, Kobe, Michael, Shaq. Give me one more.
Vince Carter.
No, that last one's tough. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Damn, that
He
was
came
a
after-
bad trade. Holy shit.
What?
We were just talking about Reggie Sanders, and I was just like, hindsight 2020, that dude was just he was good for our team, but he was awful for the price we paid for him. So we gave up, we got him and Damian Jackson for Greg Vaughn and Mark Sweeney. And then we traded him along with Wally Joyner and Kilvio Veras, who was our second baseman. And that's actually a decent haul. Brett Boone, Ryan Klesko. Good times.
Good times. All right, everybody ready? Everybody got your drinks?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Good. All right, let's do it. What's up, everybody? We are the Three Amigos and a Podcast. Quarantine week 3. I guess week 2, actually.
What up?
What's up?
It's our
3,
second
4,
week
5.
Yeah. So
second
you guys
week
going
of
crazy
working
yet?
from home for 3A.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I'm going crazy.
Well, it's good too. I mean, you get to go in the office still a little bit, or not the office, but you get to go into work still.
People are stupid.
Yeah, but me and Dean are trapped inside.
When's the last time you left the house,
Yeah.
Brandon?
Well, I leave the house to go for a run every day, Chris. Otherwise, if I don't, I'm literally gonna freaking lose my mind.
I mean, to actually go somewhere, not for a run or a walk, driven somewhere.
Oh, my car hasn't probably been driven since the weekend.
Good couple days.
It's been almost a week.
Yeah,
The lighting was all jacked up over there.
you're good. But yeah,
That's
no,
why dipping, huh?
the what?
What's that?
Gas prices are just dipping right now because nobody's buying, because nobody's driving anywhere.
I haven't had to fill
No, but
up,
I'm
so I
saying-
don't even know.
Yeah,
But
they're
I was just
saying
saying,
prices are the lowest in several years.
Jeez.
with going to work, it's I'm just dealing with the people every day that it's oh my God, the world's gonna end. We're all dying. Where's your vitamin C? And so our phone rings. It's just dumb people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It literally, these kind of things bring out the stupidity in everyone, and it's
You're just tired of answering the same question over and over again, right?
yeah, and it's just I feel like I'm on repeat. Yeah, seriously. People call me what time do you guys close? 6. Oh, what time do you normally close? 9. Oh, are you guys taking returns? No. Oh,
Why would you ask what time you normally close?
Yeah, I'm what? I don't
What
know.
time did you guys used to close? Not before quarantine. 9.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go back to those hours?
It's do you have any zinc? Do you have any elderberry? Things that we just don't have right now. Or if we did, we got
sold out. Everyone.
2 of them.
Fine.
Yeah, we got 5 zinc in. They're gone within an hour. It's stupid.
It's ridiculous.
But yeah, I mean, there's I feel like everybody's in that same boat where it's if you're at home, you're fuck, I'm tired of just being at home. If you're working in a grocery store, you're fuck, I'm tired of people.
Yeah.
Because now they started that new thing where we all have to wear masks.
Yeah, Brandon was just mentioning that before we got on. It was the first I was hearing about it, so it sounds like it's all employee or all workers, which sounds kind of crazy. I'm trying to think even because my dad works for the city of San Diego. They still have to go into work because he's at a water treatment plant. I'm like, is he gonna have to wear a mask? Because they don't interact with other people. You know what I mean? It's just.
Yeah, I didn't read that much into it, but the only thing I saw was if you're like still working, like you need to wear a mask. Like we're not getting our masks in until next week, so like we're gonna have to scarf it up.
I wonder who that company is that's making them.
Well, the whole thing too with the masks,
a lot of companies.
Yeah, there's a lot of people doing them right now.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is there's companies that are shutting down their production to just start manufacturing these things. They already have the manufacturing plants in place already, so they're literally like, all right, we're no longer going to be manufacturing this widget. We're going to be making masks now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool though that everybody's kind of like all hands on deck. I mean, that part of it's nice for sure.
Yeah.
But I've like heard that the mask thing is just like, especially with those
the N95. Oh, just the paper ones.
Yeah, like those literally don't do shit. Because that's the whole point. Is like it's not an airborne disease. Like if somebody's sneezing on you, that's what the mask is for, basically. Like because it can project like up to 30 feet or whatever, 25 feet. So you need something coverable. This lady came into my work today with one of those what do you call it? Altitude masks, and I was like, that's not going to do it.
I mean, like, you know,
like that just makes it harder to breathe.
That wouldn't help. But at the same time, it's like it makes sense because it's like then it stops you from touching your face, though. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like it's like somewhat helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, but as far as like if somebody sneezes in your face, you're still gonna ingest it. You're just gonna do it slower.
Yeah. Yeah. You're just gonna have it for longer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it should be interesting. Yeah, right. Should be interesting. It's definitely crazy. You know, they said that it's now going to be till the end of April. I gotta hope so. I would hate if, like, in 2 weeks they're like, "Oh, nope, not going to be till mid-May and end of May." That would just be, yeah, that'd be terrible. But
Florida's just barely doing the stay-at-home thing. Like, this is why it's just backing up.
Well,
there's a Texas
hasn't had any kind of like stay-at-home order, any kind of thing, and they're just having people get it left and right. And all their businesses, they're a huge manufacturing state, and I think I read a report that they had in one day 1.3 million people file for unemployment. I think like the United States as a whole, we're up to like 6.6 million. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Ryan, about Solana Beach?
There's a beach open up there still.
Well, did you hear about Coronado? Coronado said they're going to open up during the week, but not on the weekend. Close on the weekend, open during the week. It's like, that's so dumb. People are just going to... Yeah. Yeah, everything just needs to be shut down.
I've literally been saying that from the beginning.
But
there's proof, there's documentation.
We're just dragging it out, doing it this way. Do you see that they're going to make the convention center, or they already are doing it for homeless encampment or whatever? They're going to be living in the convention center right now.
Oh my god!
They're going to destroy that thing in advance of Comic-Con.
Maybe it'll get the city to rebuild it.
Yeah, right. Basically, like, all right, we got to tear this thing down. To me, how much people being here? There's not enough Lysol in the world.
And coronavirus. Yeah. Let's tear it down.
God. The thing is, it's actually a pretty nice building too.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I kind of like the design of it. I think it's kind of cool. Has that like circle running through the middle of it.
Cool.
Yeah.
The outside of it's cool. The inside's a little outdated.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But the outside's cool.
Yeah,
they could
like
do a lot with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an iconic building from the outside, definitely. I mean, I like the way that it looks. I mean, I couldn't imagine it looking different. But on the inside, like we went there when I was working for the Y for a Fit Expo, and I was like, this thing looks exactly the same when I was doing like cheer competitions and stuff, like for my sister when we were in Pop Warner.
Yeah.
You're doing cheer competitions?
Yeah, that was a slip.
Awesome. Oh, wow. Like,
Oh,
totally freaked
God.
me out.
What was that movie where the two guys like crash like a cheerleading camp? And they're trying to like
Fired up.
Fired up.
Yeah.
F you, fired up. No, I don't think
Nope.
so.
How do you spell fired up? F you. Nope. Doesn't work that way either. I love that movie.
I do too. You're the one that had me watch that one. That's great.
Yeah. But yesterday was a big day for me. Big guy over here turned 28. So yeah, it was a big one. Sarah made this wonderful shirt. Let's see if I can get this on camera. Oh, shit. Can you see my shirt?
Yeah, dude, that's not good, man. That's 2 days in a row in the same shirt.
Hey, well, you saw me yesterday. I had to do it for, everyone else watching. So way to call me out, bud. I showered today, just so you know.
You're in quarantine. It's acceptable now.
I'm allowed to do that?
I don't know. Maybe.
I like how we're all wearing hats inside.
Well, I took a shower. I washed my hair. I'm like, my hair is...
Yeah, dude, it's
yeah.
It's just wild. That's why I'm not going to do my hair.
Control.
Got that hat hair growing for sure, though. Come out of this rocking the best flow you ever seen.
Something, man. I know Shaylee's like, "Are you gonna shave?" And I was like, "Yeah, right, man. I can't shave my face and not have the ability to get a haircut."
Yeah, right. You just look all different.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, before we go any further, we had some big news. I'm gonna share this little logo up here. So we had a rep from FNXFit.com reach out to us. They want to do a partnership. So we now have a sponsor, guys, which is pretty wild. So yeah, everyone listening, if you go to fnxfit.com, use promo code 3amigos, you get 15% off their whole store. They got good gear. Ryan was or is a certified personal trainer, works at Vitamin Shop. I'm sure he can tell you more about like their products and those kind of things.
Yeah, dude. I was actually gonna speak to him a little bit because obviously I literally pick up and read supplement ingredients every single day. They got some pretty cool stuff. The recovery agent they have for their BCA looks like they got some pretty cool flavors for that. They have a greens blend. They got some other like flavors in there. But they're the one thing I was kind of excited to look at with their branched-chain amino acid blend is they got a lot of minerals and stuff in there too. So even if you're not like exercising right now, something to kind of help keep the muscles like fueled up and ready to go. Plus you're getting a little bit of stuff to keep you hydrated. I know you were talking about some of the protein. I'm super picky with protein, so I'm excited you got some to try. But
yeah,
the greens blend is really cool too. There's some like digestive enzymes in there. They have some pretty funky flavors. Normally I just see like berry flavored or
yeah, I saw one. It was like unicorn and something else.
Yeah, unicorn something. I was trying to pull it up on my phone right now. Shit, where the hell is it?
Yeah, but so everyone listen, they got great gear too. So they have good, I don't know, they got a bunch of like gym bags, girls' leggings, sports bras, guys, tanks, tees, hats. Then they had this thing called the Victory Box, which I thought was pretty cool. It's like a subscription box, $30 a month. They value it like $150. So, go check them out. And like we said, we'll keep using their products. So we'll let you guys know how they are and everything.
Oh, they got a carb powder too. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. The carb powder is like freaking essential, man. I go through that shit pretty regularly.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
great for the workouts, great for fueling.
Now we got an ad. Now we can easily transition into something like sports.
Yeah, man.
Boom. No awkward cuts anymore. Just straight professional podcasting over here over at 3A. You know what we're talking about. But yeah, with the coronavirus, sports has been extremely slow. One thing Ryan and I were talking about earlier in the week that is extremely interesting is college baseball decided that they're going to give an extra year of eligibility to their players. So those seniors that were going to have to declare for the draft or like try to go test the market and test if they can go play ball in the big leagues, they're now getting that extra year since scouts can't properly see them before the MLB draft. Personally, I think this is kind of crazy. I don't know if you guys share that same thought as I do. I mean, just initial thoughts. Like, do you guys think this is actually a good idea, or this seems kind of like a stretch, right? Like,
I'll let Brandon go first.
Well, so I don't know. It just depends on which perspective you're looking at. So from the team perspective, I think it's pretty good for the teams that are going to be drafting. So that way they have a better, outlook at what the players look like. You
mean MLB?
They can scout them better. They get MLB. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you're talking about giving you another year in college, right?
Yeah.
This is the first I'm hearing about it. So,
okay.
I think that's good for the teams. For the players themselves, I think it's probably not quite as good because they're getting another year. It's just another year further into their career that they're wasting or whatever in college ball. Obviously,
you don't think that there's anything like it's beneficial for the players because there's going to be those guys that maybe they had a decent year, but they're outing and they're like their pro day or they're during their like scouting visit and those kind of things, they're going to really show out. So that's going to boost their draft value. You don't think that there's anything to that? Like,
no.
Well, it works both ways too, so there's that, but a lot of times you're talented, like
mm-hmm.
A lot of these guys that are coming out of like high school and stuff, they're already, and those are the guys those are like the blue chip prospects or whatever that are coming out. I don't know. I think it's really good for baseball for sure. I think, but from the player's perspective, I just look at him like you're looking at somebody who's coming up, and it's like Aaron Judge scenario. Aaron Judge came up. He's like. He wasn't I think he was like 26 when he first broke into the league or something like that. He was like, he had played so much time in the minor leagues and in college that he's not going to get that massive payday because he's going to be a little bit older once he can get that big deal. And I realize I'm talking about the the one percenters in baseball.
Yeah. I get what you're saying now.
But from I feel like that's what every player should strive to be is that.
I think
1%,
and Brandon,
I guess
answer
some
me this
people are
one.
just happy to be in the bigs. I don't know.
Yeah, answer me this one. In a normal MLB draft, how many rounds are there again? I know it's a lot.
The number, but it's like I think it's close to 50 or somewhere around 50.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. So there's 5 this year. There's 5 rounds. So. The biggest thing for me is that the best high school seniors and the best college seniors don't have to worry because they're going to get drafted. There's going to be 5 rounds of draft, so the best of the best, like it's not going to affect them either way because they're either going to skip college indefinitely or they're going to just take their draft slot based off of how they performed last year. My biggest thing is for the rest of the people, whether you're a upcoming freshman in college that is going to have a, 5th year senior now, or maybe even a 6th year senior, depending on if they were already a redshirt, somebody that knows the system, and you have to, fight them for a job. And the biggest thing with college baseball is college baseball coaches still have to keep their job. It's not just about showcasing talent for people who are going to be potential, MLB players. It's about putting the right pieces in who's going to help you win. So I feel like there's a lot of younger talent that's going to get affected by this. One, I think that you're going to see an influx of people going to community college now because there's going to be less scholarships offered because and they might up the amount of scholarships, but schools aren't going to have the funding for it because they're missing out on a year of season play where they're getting money.
That was my biggest thing with scholarships. It's like with these new younger kids, and like Ryan's saying, is coaches have to do what's best for their team, not so much as showcasing who the best athletes are, or pro ready players are. It's, if they can fit into that lineup. And it's like, do you give that scholarship to the fringe guy that would go in the late, 15, 17 round of the draft, or do you give it to the top, high school kid that's coming up? It's like, who do you know what I mean? How do you dole out those kind of scholarships? How do you give playing time to who? It's a lot. I mean,
there's always those situations where there's a kid that gets drafted, in the 20th round of the MLB draft, coming out of high school, and it's like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go to school. Those are the situations that are more frequent. So now that kid that was, potentially going to go into Major League Base or going to college is like, shit, like, do I go to a college where it's going to take me even longer to start to showcase my talent to improve my draft stock? It sucks, man. It's the fringe players. It's those, not necessarily the 1%ers. It's the rest of them, because college still has to put together a reputable team. But it'll be interesting. I mean, everybody's going through it and everybody's doing it differently. So I'm interested to see how a lot of these schools end up doing it. I mean, luckily for college basketball, I mean, I know it sucks that we didn't get the college tournament, but if you were a projected lottery pick, or, even like first or second round draft pick, I mean, you're set. You're good to go. Like, you don't care. It's like I was going pro anyways.
Yeah.
But it's those people that didn't get to showcase their talent as well.
It's those fringe guys.
Kemba Walker players that like blow up in the freaking tournament and, get to showcase their talent.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I mean, it could have, a ripple effect too. I mean, you have seen Moneyball, where Billy Beane had the opportunity to stay and finish out school, but they told him he was going to be drafted number 1. They removed that scenario from him, essentially, where he could stay in and complete his school, and essentially be that, like, if he wants to be a super senior, I'm assuming that's, I guess, the idea, right? You stay in for a 5th year.
Yeah, basically.
Well, that's for he was coming out of high school though, so like he would have had to.
No, but I'm just saying, in this scenario, like, you have a guy who's recruited, he has the opportunity to stay and finish out his degree and improve his draft stock. I don't know. It just seems like that possibility could help out some players too.
Yeah, there's definitely two sides.
You want to be able to have something back on, if you're, especially in baseball. So many players get drafted. There's so many players that spend time in the minor leagues their entire life and never make it to the show. Mm-hmm. It's like, there's so many of those guys out there, and if they're out there at least finishing their college education and they have a degree to fall back on if it doesn't work out, I don't think it's beneficial. I mean, there's so many different ways to look at it, and it's almost impossible to just say it's like to have a blanket answer as, this is bad for one group and good for the other.
Well, I can definitely say it's bad for high school seniors. Like, as a majority, it's bad for high school seniors.
Yeah, I agree.
One, the loss of scholarships. 2, the potential lack of playing time, because in college baseball you have to play up to your junior or senior year, like football, in order to get drafted. So they're going to be a lot of them, are a high percentage of them, are going to be losing out on potential playing time for at least a year, where they're not going to be able to showcase their talent. The plus side is they're not losing out on draft eligibility, so they can still crush it their sophomore and junior year and then go pro. But it's like, you have those players that are, like I was saying, fringe, where maybe they were going to be a 20th round pick in the draft, and they're like, I'm going to do that instead of going to college. They're not even going to have that option anymore. So I think that college players will benefit from it the most. Like, players that are already in college, I think the high school seniors that are going to get screwed over the most, which sucks. It's like, you don't get graduation. Now you don't.
This just occurred to me right now. Like, with them giving an extra year of eligibility, is it, if you're a freshman, do you also get that 5th year? Like, is it a repeat of your freshman year? You know what I mean? Or is it only for seniors?
I think it's just for the seniors. I didn't read into it that much, but that would be weird if it was for everyone.
Yeah, it would be weird, but at the same time, wouldn't it be like more fair? Wouldn't it be like an even playing field?
Yeah, it would. But again, then you still have the influx of all those incoming freshmen that are going to
Yeah.
be, and that's what I'm saying. Those are the ones that are going to get screwed over the most with all of this. It's not the college seniors or the juniors. It's the people that were coming into a new program, and it's like, well, do I have a scholarship still? Do I, obviously, like those, top players are going to have a spot, but like, those lower the bubble players aren't going to be able to play.
I love those stories in sports, of the guy that was a nobody kind of thing, walk on, then he proved himself. Those stories are always so heartfelt, but I also am always so interested in the stories that almost were. You know what I mean? Like the guy
Yeah.
that showed up late to a practice and then, you know what I mean? Like then he had to sit out the first half of a game where a scout was there. They left early. It's like could have been the next best player. It same kind of feeling with this. It's like who knows in the mix, you know what I mean? Like I love like Jacob DeGrom's story. You know what I mean? He was like a 17th round draft pick, and now, look at him now, kind of thing. It's like there's so many people, so many kids in this kind of space in this potential draft this year that could have been the same. So you just never know the amount of talent that's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting to see.
Speaking of baseball, I got MLB The Show 20. Just been playing that like crazy, dude. I've been doing the not the road to the show. What's the one where you can be a team and you like play the season? I can't remember. I don't forget the. No, it's not a franchise.
Mode.
No, it's not a franchise.
It's called something else. It's called something else in MLB now. But yeah, it's franchise.
Yeah, but I've been playing that like crazy.
You're the GM basically.
Well, and they like let you play like highlighted moments or whatever. That's why I was texting you the other day, Ryan. Like, hey man, how do I get better at pitching? Because it was Danielson Lamet going for a no hitter, and I just couldn't get through the 7th round. I kept fucking up.
Dude, yeah, lower the velocity. Don't try to top off the velocity.
I don't. I hit it right.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Editing his skill set to make him throw harder? Is that what you're doing?
No, like how it has the little meter that goes like, or let's say it goes like,
yeah.
It's like instead of stopping it here, it's like stop it like right at the front of it, and that way your box is bigger to get it in. But it might just be because he's a really, really wild pitcher.
That's what it is, dude. And it's just so I gave up. I was like, next. I'm on. No,
most of the pitchers for the Padres don't have fantastic accuracy in those games. Just saying.
They gave me
the only one that'd be good, Paddock.
Yeah.
But like they always skew him down. Like they used to skew him up for the Padres a lot, just because it's made in San Diego. So I was always kind of like, damn, dude, like. Jose Pirela was like an 80 overall last year, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
So they're all fans.
yeah, basically. And then like as the rosters progress, it's like, "Oh shit, this guy's a 67 now." Like, how the fuck did he start off as an 80 and now he's a 67?
What is Tatis in the game?
You were playing it today. You should know.
I haven't played it. I don't remember.
Don't lie. I saw you online today playing Road to the Show.
I play Road to the Show. What's Tatis' numbers though?
I don't know.
I've been playing 2K career mode.
I've been playing that and a lot of Call of Duty Warzone.
Oh, you got the new one?
Yeah.
Dude, I ran it back when like Redbox was still running games. That shit's pretty dope.
Yeah,
maps are too big though. It's scary.
The maps are huge. I played another one. I forget what the game was, but it was kind of like Capture the Flag, and the map was so tiny, dude. It was ridiculous.
Domination?
Not Domination. It was like Capture the Flag.
Yeah, dude, I love the small map ones. I play World War II sometimes, like one of the older Call of Duty games. But there's a small map one. It just moves so fast.
It moves so fast, dude. But this one sucks because when you die, you don't get to go back in. You got to wait till the round's over.
That sucks.
Yeah, so me being a noob, I just kept dying right away. I was like, fuck. But yeah, dude, what are we hopping on?
Black
What are
Ops
we
is the best one.
what are we gaming on, boys? I mean, I can't go a full month without gambling. Come on, what are we doing? Give me something.
Still haven't seen Uncut Gems, have you?
I haven't, but I feel at this point it's not gonna matter.
He's like, I'm done gambling.
He's strong.
Your boy's getting
Have you seen
desperate
it?
and he's losing money in the stock market. So let's go, baby.
Ryan, I knew you said you were going to watch it. Have you seen it?
I haven't watched it yet. No. Shaylee's been working a lot this week, so haven't had any downtime yet.
I saw it was on Amazon Prime for like $3 or something. Maybe we'll watch it tonight.
Amazon needs to just freaking cut the bull crap and let all the movies be free right now.
Well, it's funny because even like The Gentleman, that movie The Gentleman, went straight to digital. And the only way you can watch it is on Amazon, but you have to buy it. But it's only like $12. So I'm like, fuck it. I mean, that's a pretty good price. I wanted to see it anyways.
That's the one with Charlie Hunnam in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to get that one. I freaking love him. I've been rewatching Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, I've been trying to get through Game of Thrones. Season 6 now.
Man.
Season 6, Arya just killed that crazy girl and was like, this girl has a name, and it's Arya Stark, and I'm going back to Winterfell. And then she, like, disappeared.
Isn't that season 5?
It was 6.
I was going to say, that was pretty far along. I think there's 8, right?
Yeah, there's 8.
Okay, then yeah, that was season 6.
Yeah. But all right, let's move on to some NFL. You know, it was Tom Brady watch for the longest time. He's now signed to Tampa Bay. Did you guys hear that? You know, usually in the NFL, it's like if somebody's wearing your number, you can buy it from them, or like, hey, I'll give you this watch or that kind of thing. Chris Godwin was wearing number 12. He just gave it to Tom Brady. Like, wouldn't you be like, do you think you'd ask Tom Brady to give you something? Would you be like, all right, man? No?
Not the GOAT.
But he shouldn't Tom give him something at least? Be like, hey, man,
I'm sure that there's going to be something.
Here's a Lamborghini.
He's going to give him like a 1% stake in his TB12 brand or something. Like,
yeah, I'm going to give you royalties on everything. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, so now we are on Cam Newton watch. I saw the rumor circulating about the Patriots possibly being interested. I mean, could you guys see Cam on the Pats? No?
Not 0% chance. 0.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
So you're telling me if you guys are playing Madden and you take over a team and you take over the Patriots and you have the possibility to sign Cam, you're not doing it?
That's a different question.
As the owner of the Patriots, you're not trying to get
different question.
But answer that question.
100% I'm taking Cam.
100%.
I'm taking Cam and I'm loading everyone else for Christian McCaffrey. But this isn't Madden.
If I was rich enough, it would be.
Yeah, right. So the thing is they're high on Jared Stidham, and I get it, dude. I watched that dude at Auburn. He's a stud. I think that he's got the ability to be not necessarily an elite quarterback, but a perfect fit for the Patriots. And I think when you look at Cam Newton and his abilities and what the Patriots try to do, there's nothing that fits there. And they're not going to change their style of quarterback, just for what's available on the market. They want to start over with the guys that they, create, or help coach. Just like Tom Brady being a late, draft pick. I mean, they haven't drafted a quarterback in the first round in years. And the reason is because they're great at developing them. And again, I don't know how much money Cam Newton's going to want. I don't know how much people are willing to pay, but whatever it is, the Patriots don't want to pay it.
Well, I gotta imagine that it's gotta have. I feel like it's gotta have years to it.
I don't think so, man. I think he's going 1-year deal, and I think it's going to probably be for about half of what Teddy Bridgewater got.
You think that's what he's asking, or that's what he's going to get?
No, I think that's what he's going to get.
No, I'm saying, but what he's asking has to be years. That's why no one's really.
I think that he's probably asking for a high dollar amount for 1 year to prove himself. He hasn't played since 2018. It's been true. Since October of 2018 that we've seen him. So, I mean, there's nobody, no agent in their right mind going to be like, dude, you need to ask for 6 years. You need to ask for 5 years. It'll be a 1 year prove it deal, but he's going to want the dollars. And I get it. You know, it's a risk, your injuries, and, you know, it might not work out. So you're going to want some sort of, you know, upfront payment on your abilities. It's just with the direction that the NFL is going, it's hard to see it fit at the moment. I've heard rumors circulating around the fact that the Chargers are not ruling it out. That's basically what Anthony Lynn said. He's looking at all the options. I think systematically, Tyrod Taylor makes more sense when you look at the turnover ratio with Philip Rivers over the last 2 seasons. Or 3 seasons, I would say, because the year before last wasn't too bad. I think that they're looking for somebody where it's ball security, and they're looking for somebody to develop. So unless Cam Newton is wanting to go out and show that he's not a one-trick pony, that he can run an offense in a low-risk fashion, then yeah, by all means, man, go pick him up. But the Chargers are going to be like 1 year, $10 million. That's what you're getting. Like, we're paying you like a backup.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what he's going to get on the open market, to be honest, though.
Yeah, I don't see him I mean, I know he wants more. I know he's looking for that 20 to 25 million range, but he's not going to get it.
Yeah, he should just get paid backup money at this point, in all reality.
Well, I think for him, too, look at his. Go ahead, B.
I was gonna say, if I'm him, I don't want the years, because the years he's gonna get are gonna be crap for over the years. So like the dollar amount per year. So if he's getting, if he signs like a 2 or 3 year deal, he's gonna be locked in at whatever 8 to 10 million a year, some crappy number like that, and he's not gonna be digging it if he kills it in 1 year.
He's got to do it like Michael Vick did. He's got to go to a team that it's systematically makes sense. He has to take a team-friendly contract, probably on a team where they have a quarterback who's a high injury risk. Some of the teams that I look at, maybe the freaking Packers. Aaron Rodgers is hurt every other season, so maybe that's a team that goes after and signs a backup quarterback. Maybe we're looking at the Saints. I mean, I know they just re-signed Taysom Hill, but Drew Brees, he missed 4 games this past season. He's plus 40. Maybe it's their contingency plan on if Brees decides to retire after the season. But I would look at the system more than I would look at the pay and the years. Give yourself an opportunity to prove at your value. And I think it doesn't bode well with him on a team like the Chargers, where it's like you might go in there with Tyrod Taylor and not win the starting spot. And that's not speaking to how great Tyrod Taylor is, but they just might not be looking for what you're able to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
I feel like Cam's no longer on that upward swing of his career. He's kind of like, what he is at this point. I think he still could be in his prime if he could stay healthy, but he's just never been healthy, and he's just not a good system to showcase his skill set right now.
Yeah,
that's how I feel. It's just there's nowhere that kind of feels like a good fit for him. He brings a certain skill set to the table, and maybe it's because the Panthers only tried to do kind of one-dimensional thing with him, so it just feels like that is an offense that he needs to fit into and run. But it just, right now it just doesn't feel like there's any system out there that he kind of fits in well with that doesn't have a quarterback.
Well, they were also, I felt like, going with more of that, conservative approach with him. And you're like, it's Cam Newton. You just kind of let him loose, let him do his thing, and if you try to change him into a different quarterback, he's no longer the same quarterback that you are rostering. He's just a wannabe at that point. He's trying to be something he's not.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and then I think the biggest factor that goes into all of it is the draft. I don't think Cam Newton's going to sign until after the draft is over. I think with the amount of quarterbacks that we're seeing and teams wanting to go out and get their guy, for instance, if the Chargers are really high on Justin Herbert or Jordan Love, let's say, they want to see if they have the ability to draft one of them. And if they get through the entire draft and they don't have one of those guys, then maybe they do take a risk with Cam Newton.
Yeah, if I'm, a GM for a team right now, that's what I'm doing. I'm going into the draft hoping to get my guy. If somebody else picks him up, then, we have Cam Newton, we have Jameis Winston, we have, you know what I mean? There's other people still available on the free agent market that you could go after. So I think it would be dumb to sign him before going into the draft. Like if a team did that, you just don't. That's just a bad, poorly run organization. You don't know what you're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the Andy Dalton factor too. I think that's another big one that you got to look at as well. What's going to happen with him?
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like he'll probably stay with the Bengals, regardless of whether or not they draft Joe Burrow. They're going to want a tackling dummy for. This first season.
Yeah, if I'm Andy Dalton, I'm just taking what I can get at this point in all reality. I do hate the fact that it's like he's just kind of handcuffed, you know what I mean? Like he's just been dealt the shit end of the stick. Like there's nothing he can do.
He's getting up there in age, though.
He's about the same age as Cam Newton. They're both about 30, which is, it's not old for a quarterback.
It's a decent age for any other year except for this year when you have, 3 top QBs pushing 40.
32 right now.
So here's some news from Adam Scheffler. The Raiders were unable to finalize a contract with Eli Apple, a free agent from the Saints. So he's still a free agent. So one of the top cornerbacks on the market is still up for grabs.
That guy, man, I swear, the Giants are fucking idiots for even letting him walk initially.
It was the attitude thing, and I'm like, dude, you're New York. Like, get over it. Like, he's supposed to have an attitude. Like, you had OBJ on your team, and you're going to tell me Eli Apple's the worst freaking cancer on your team? Get out of here.
Well, it's just the fact that it's like when you play that position, you got to have attitude.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think the other part that we massively skipped on was the expanded playoffs got pushed through to this year.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. I totally skipped over that.
Yes. So 14 team for the playoffs.
So it's 14 teams. Are they also doing the 17th week? Or no? Still 16 weeks?
I heard it was 17. Yeah, they're doing it this year, right? The 17.
I believe it's 17, yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy. So now...
So it's one additional wild card team. So 14 teams to qualify for the playoffs beginning with the 2020 season. One additional wild card team added in each conference. And CBS and NBC to broadcast an additional wild card game. Congratulations, CBS and NBC.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, right. That's crazy. So it's going to be AFC. It will feature 2 seed hosting the 7, 3 seed hosting the 6th, and then the 4th and 5th teams hosting. So the first round, there's only going to be one first round bye.
All right. So let me give you my pros and cons with this. I'm going to start out with I'll start with the negative first. Negatively, I don't like this because you're not going to have. I equate this to like how March Madness is. You have a 16 seed. That 16, it's a rarely, I think it happened for the first time last year, right? That a 16 beat a 1 seed. It's that kind of thing in my eyes with 7 going against the 2. I just think that it's a waste of everybody's time. It's a kind of like a matchup we don't need. It's probably going to be a team with a losing record some of the time. I wouldn't say the majority, but a good amount is probably going to be a losing team. The side I do like about this, though, the pro, is now you have teams going late into the season, into week, 14, 15, 16, 17 now, that can no longer rest their starters. Because if you're on the fringe of, being the number 1 or 2 seed, you have to fight for that number 1 seed so you can get that first round bye. You don't just kind of get to skate into the playoffs the same way you used to. So I like that aspect of it. But the thing I don't like is, I just don't think a 7 and a 2, like, that's really going to be that good of a matchup. Like, I know that there's been other times, like every time I think back to, anything can happen in the playoffs and in the NFL. I think back to the Giants when they won their last Super Bowl. They went in, 9-7, or that they were like, they went in 9-7. The worst record. They were a 6th seed. Ended up, winning the Super Bowl. So I know anything can happen. Just in my eyes, not a big fan of the 7 and a 2.
But I'll put it to you this way. Well, I'll take you back a year. So we'll go back to 2018 playoffs. Kansas State Chiefs had a first round bye, as well as the New England Patriots. In this situation, the Pittsburgh Steelers would have gotten into the playoffs at 9-6-1, and they would have gone to New England. New England plays an extra playoff game. The Chiefs do not. And then we're looking at an overtime game that probably doesn't go in the Patriots' favor because they're now going through Pittsburgh, maybe the Chargers, and then we'll say the Chiefs. There's an extra game added to that addition.
I mean, you can go so far as just saying that 9-6-1 Steelers team wouldn't beat the Patriots in Week 1, and then they could have been that could have been their Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, there's that aspect too.
That it's close enough. I think that I get the pros and cons. Obviously, there's pros and cons. So I'm not a huge fan of just expanding the playoffs and expanding the season just because. But I do think it takes pressure off of the coaches when it comes to load management. And Week 17, having an extra playoff spot, because like you said, there's a bigger buffer, but most of the time there's a bigger buffer between, let's say, teams 7, 8, and 9 versus 6 and 7. So if you have a top 7 seed locked up, and there's only one first round bye to go around, the load management is going to be a lot easier for the players because they're like, hey, we have either a 4 through 6 locked up. We have home field advantage in the first 2 rounds. We're good. But I think that it's just kind of counterproductive to take away 2 first round buys instead of having 2 first round buys, having one team gets a first round bye. I feel like you're going to see less of the better teams winning because there's more games to go through for the other guys. When you get hot, you get hot.
Yeah, I mean,
it without a doubt will increase the level of competition because there's still going to be those fringe teams that are fighting all the way to the very end to make the playoffs for that 7 seed, and then if you're at the top, you're going to you're like you were saying before, you're still going to fight for that 1 seed. So without a doubt, it'll increase competition, but I'm kind of in the same camp as you were. I don't think they needed to tinker with it. I thought things were fine before. I thought they had, in my opinion, I thought the NFL probably I think they have the best, playoff structure out of all the, 4 major sports or whatever.
Right. So, like most, not elite, but there's only a select few teams that make it. It's a exclusive. Yes, thank you. It's like it's a very exclusive group, and that's why we kind of see those teams kind of linger around the same bubble that they normally are. Whether it's a constant playoff team that can't get to a Super Bowl, or a team that's year after year in the AFC or NFC championship game. I do like that it's going to allow that bubble team, whoever it may be. Fuck, maybe it's the Browns this year. Maybe they're the number 7 team, and then we finally get to see the Browns in the playoffs. But it just felt unnecessary because it doesn't feel as exclusive now. It feels like we're adding in another team, so more teams get more revenue.
And that's a great point that you brought up. Like, let's just say the Browns were the ones to get in or whatever. It's like a mediocre football team or a team that, a team that should have its fans angry at them for not making the playoffs for X amount of consecutive years in a row. Like, let's say the Steelers, right? I mean, they're 2 years removed. Pittsburgh's a pretty football heavy town. They're a big sports city, that kind of thing. I'm sure the city of Pittsburgh is, calling for people's heads. They're getting all kind of tore up because they missed the playoffs for, 2 years. I don't know if we're going on 3 years, but it's like now you let an organization skate by because they're now that fringe team that now they're the 14th team. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like you're letting these owners just skate on by without having to make roster changes or put more into their organization to just be like, hey, man, we made the playoffs. It's like you were the last seed, though.
Yeah, the one factor that's going to be huge is scheduling. It's going to play a massive role into playoffs now because if you have an easier schedule, you're more likely to make the playoffs because it's not going to end up with you being an 8-8 team. You either have to be have a winning percentage, or you have to have a losing percentage, barring tie.
I do like that. I like how we're no longer 500 ball clubs. We're either winning or losing.
Yeah, but I think that's the part that's going to be the most beneficial for it is because now you're going to see, okay, it's not a fringe team anymore. They're not an 8-8 team, maybe missed it by a couple of games. It's, they're a 10-7 ball club or a, 9-8 ball club. There's no more questioning about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously, like in our generation, we'll be able to say, well, a year ago they would have been an 8-8 team. So, what it doesn't mean anything to me. But for future generations to come, having that ability to see you're no longer a 500 ball club, I love that part of it.
Yeah, I like that part. Also, it's gonna just fuck up everything that we know with statistics. You know what I mean? Now we're just gonna have crazy amount of rushing records, season long passing records. Yeah, it's like season long passing record, touchdown record, rushing season total. It's gonna be crazy.
Patrick Mahomes is already on pace to break every freaking career passing yards, touchdown, everything. And now adding another game into the mix for every single season. It's
gonna be ridiculous.
Done. Yeah, write his name in the history book now. He's gonna own it.
It is. It's like one of those things, though, with the NFL. It's just how long. When are they going to stop?
That'll be it. I mean,
they could go on the tear and be like, "All right, now we're being like soccer, where we're just going year round. One game here, 2 weeks off, another game here. It's ridiculous." We had one last thing. I don't know if you guys want to get into it about your favorite NFL jersey.
Oh, yeah. Top five?
You want to do a top five? Are we doing current jersey or just...
Yeah, current.
Okay.
Current jersey.
Color rush?
No.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, sure.
Or we're doing like... Well, I feel like color rush isn't fair.
Okay, then just regular.
Regular. All right, I'm going to start off... We'll go with 5, yeah?
Yeah.
Number 5. I'm going to start off with number 5, and I'm going to go with, no, they'd be more like 3 for me, I think. Start off and go with, I'm going to go with the Houston Texans. I like their jerseys, America, red, white, and blue. Keep it classy, keep it good, just America across the board. You're saying no to America right now?
Stop it.
Who's your number 5 then?
For me, my number 5, I was trying to look at a few of them. I would probably say the Vikings.
They got cool helmets.
Yeah, they have the matte purple helmets. It's they went back to the classical look, not those stupid freaking pinstripey crap jerseys that they were wearing for a while. I like the old school look with the new school flair.
Okay. All right, we'll keep them at 5. So Vikings, 5 Vikings. Number 4. I don't know if you're gonna like this or not. I'm a big fan of the Rams jerseys. I think they have dope helmets.
Dude, no.
I like the Rams jerseys.
The new white helmets are terrible.
I like the white helmets, dude.
No.
I kind of like the Miami Dolphin jerseys.
Those are clean. I would give the Dolphins the 4 before I gave the freaking stupid. Ugh, no.
Can we agree that the 49ers and the Browns have like one of the worst jerseys?
I think
yeah.
Okay.
It's just bad colors. It's bad color schemes.
Fine. The Dolphins get 4. My number 3 was going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars.
No.
You don't like the Jaguars jerseys?
No.
You guys have no taste.
Dude, those are basic as fuck now. It literally looks like a practice uniform.
I got to find it now. The new jersey?
My number 3 would be
that teal?
I would say the Seahawks. I'd say the Seahawks for my number 3.
Yeah, I was leaning on the Seahawks, but I wanted to make sure I was actually looking at a current jersey.
I had Seahawks at 2.
Yeah, I mean, Seahawks have pretty clean uniforms. Those gray ones are dope.
All right, well, I'm just going to shut up because clearly I don't know what I'm talking about with jerseys.
Dude, I want to keep hearing your list, man.
Who's your number 2 now?
The 2 is tough.
Because it's funny because, wait up. The Jaguars are listed. I'm looking at NBC Sports. The Jaguars have the second ugliest jersey ranked on their website.
Hey, you guys are my best friends, so I like ugly, all right?
USA Today has them as the 30th worst uniform.
They have the 33rd?
They're like, yeah, they actually have the Browns, a secondary uniform at number 32, and then the Jaguars. No.
Yeah, the what's it called was ranked number 1 on this NBC one I'm looking at.
Save it.
Wait, what did you say? You said the Browns were number 1?
That's like number 1 ugliest jersey, I meant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The Browns are fucking terrible. Like, how can you make that look good, though? My number 2 is tough because I like the classic look. So I would be between the Chiefs or the Cowboys. I think those just look.
Cowboys ahead of them.
Yeah, but like, you know what I mean? It's a very similar uniform look. I think that star is freaking awesome. But like with the Chiefs, it's just like, you know, the red and white. It's clean. Classic look.
I feel like the Cowboys jersey looks similar to like the Colts jersey.
That's what I mean. It's like, well, the only difference is the Colts have less stripes because they have less colors. But you can throw those in the same
between for number 1 for me, it's between, again, they're pretty close.
No, who's number 2?
Cowboys.
Oh, yeah, Chargers, Cowboys?
Yeah, those are the 2 for the best.
Number 1.
Yeah, I think the Chargers. Yeah, the Chargers have to be number 1.
Their powdered blue is pretty sweet, but I do really like the Cowboys one though. So
yeah, the Cowboys are clean too. But I would put the Cowboys in my number 2. It sucks because it is a drastic difference between like 2 and like 6 for the Chiefs, but it's literally just because it's red and it's bright.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the Cowboys jerseys. Like, I just think they look generic. Like, there's a lot of other teams that look like them, but I get what you're saying. It's like that simplistic look. It's the like not too busy.
No, wait. Are we?
But the color scheme is better.
Yeah.
Are we including the helmets in this discussion, or is it just the jersey itself?
No, the
uniform or jersey.
Whole unit.
Their helmet's pretty sweet. I think their helmet's cool.
The Cowboys helmet?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the jersey's kind of basic, but like, yeah, if you were just doing the jersey alone, they probably wouldn't be where I'm saying they are.
It's the whole ensemble.
The whole thing.
But
I think
yeah,
it's just because they're like
easily-
America's team.
Chargers #1. I mean,
Chargers have to be number one. Yeah.
powder blues,
I-
man. Nobody has a lightning bolt.
My favorite one still is like the LT era jerseys.
Those powder blues.
Yeah, those
No,
powder
not
blues.
not the powdered blue. The old helmet that they used to have, the blue helmet with the bolt on it. I thought that one was the coolest looking
Their
helmet.
new white helmets are sick.
I like the white helmets with like the old school lettering,
Yeah.
like number, like the old school kind of letters. Those look
Yeah.
sick. I'm a huge fan of those. Can we at least agree that like one of the best jerseys, one of the best football jerseys ever, it was Baylor in like, what was that, 2018? The all black with the gold helmet.
Oh, yeah. But like Oregon too, man. Like you could basically put Oregon, all of their jerseys, like the top 20 of all time.
It's like Boise. I love Boise's jerseys.
Boise got some sick uniforms.
It's the blue and the orange. They're dope.
It's so funny because like we grew up with like Claremont blue and orange and like Padres blue and orange, and like so many people just don't know how to do it right, like the freaking donkeys. And it's not a hard color scheme. You just have to learn how to do it right.
You just got to layer it properly.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
the Giants in as one of the ugly choices. They're just so basic and boring. Like they literally is just
Giants
the most generic looking jersey.
Yeah. I really, really don't like the Bengals uniforms at all. I think there's way too much going on.
yeah, I think they did too much.
Yeah. It's like you get one thing, man. You get one thing.
And I think the Packers could do a lot
helmet-
more with their jerseys. I feel like their
Packers
jerseys are just
going
boring.
Classic look, and it's like you got to do something.
They're just boring.
Yeah.
It's like you got to change something up. Try something a little different. Like I appreciated the Jaguars coming off of those freaking tacky looking ombre helmets and like trying to make everything look all crisp and clean, but it was like they look like practice uniforms now.
I just like, if you can mix black and teal together.
The color scheme is awesome. Like
About
if they could do the jerseys right, like it's an awesome look. Like even if they took the same idea that the Vikings have, where it's like they take their old school uniforms and just modernize it a little bit,
Yeah.
like they would have one of the sickest uniforms by far. Like take those like shoulder stripes and just like I said, modernize it a little bit. But because I'm the same way, black and teal looks sick.
Yeah.
But the Chargers are getting new jerseys this year.
What I mean, didn't the Rams logo, isn't that like the same thing as the Chargers logo? Did you guys see that? Like, are they just gonna wear the same jerseys too?
No, they both redid them. The Rams looks terrible. The Rams looks like a Charger Bowl.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Chargers just looks a little bit like
The Chargers have a new logo.
Yeah, there's 5 new teams that are gonna have 5 teams that are gonna have new uniforms this year. I'll get you the list real quick.
It pains me every time I see Los Angeles Chargers. It makes me sad.
Yeah. Let's see. Hold on one second.
Mm-hmm.
7 new teams. I'm sorry. So this is the
7?
most. Yes, the most we've ever had. Normally it's like 1 or 2. The Los Angeles Rams and Los Angeles Chargers. The 5 other teams are going to have different levels of redesigns, and that's the Buccaneers, the Patriots, the Browns, the Falcons, and the Colts.
It's like all teams going through like massive changes right now too.
Yeah.
Browns are like, we can't get anything right. The Patriots are like, well, we got to do something now that Brady's not here.
Tom
Colts are
Brady
like-
took the jersey in his contract.
The Bucks like, oh,
Buccaneers.
we got Tom Brady, we got to celebrate.
right? New
Yeah.
uniform.
Well, no, the Bucks are like, Tom Brady brought the jersey he got from New England to here, so we got to change it.
Tampa Bay Patriots.
What if they did the
Rams,
same exact
everyone's
design?
jumping chip on them.
Dude, nobody likes the Rams again.
They're just a letdown.
Yeah, they-
dude. Like
They're just
Well,
the
they
biggest
went all
letdown.
flash.
They were
went-
legitimately like getting a prospect that was graded as like an A. You know, like you have a grade A prospect. His potential is A+++, and then he just decided to get D's.
dude.
You know what I
I
mean? Like he just flopped majorly. That's the Rams. That's what happened.
told you. I told you so.
I mean, it wasn't like a big sell. I know you were like their first season was a hype, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's
Dude,
no
like,
defense for it. There's no.
They went
They
all
go
in
all
for
in.
that year.
And it was the
Yeah, they went all
wrong
in
time.
that year.
Like you cannot justify going all in on a year where you don't have a stadium you're playing in yet, and you have a bunch of young talent with an unexpected future filtered in with a bunch of old dudes.
Yeah, it was.
Like,
yeah.
There's still a solid core there. Like they still have Goff, they still have Woods, they still have Cooper Cup, Gerald
Yeah, the new
Everett.
head
Like there's still
coach,
some.
McVay.
Yeah, like there's still stuff to be excited about, but it's like you're losing all the hype now.
Well, they got to retool is what they got to do. I don't think they're going to be just total shit show going forward. I think they still,
Yeah, it's just the
They got-
wrong
well,
time
they
to
got-
retool.
yeah. Well, I think they wanted to kind of announce themselves as the team in Los Angeles, and I felt like they kind of have done that. Don't you think? Like they've outperformed the Chargers up to this point.
I would say LA's
Yeah,
team's
they went to the Super
Rams.
Bowl. It's always going to be the Raiders. There's no argument.
No, but if somebody was like, I mean, I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to be like spiteful or whatever. But if somebody were like, what team has LA, the Rams or the Chargers? I'd say the Rams.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
I mean, the Chargers are always going to play second fiddle because they're playing in the Rams Stadium. So it's like the conversation ends with that alone. The Chargers have no respect from the rest of the NFL, but the Rams are slowly losing respect from everybody because they're going to be back in their freaking Jeff Fisher days here in about a minute if they can't develop talent. Because all they're proving is that they had a lot of money to spend and they didn't figure out how to use it.
Jeff Fisher days.
Yeah. At least with the Chargers, they're good at developing talent. So it's like if they go out and maybe they do draft a Justin Herbert or a Tua Tagovailoa, like at least they'll have the excitement factor where it's something you haven't seen and it's the potential to like, grow a fan base because they're fantastic at developing talented players. They're just run by a shit owner.
I feel like the Chargers, they're just like one season to the next, they're just a completely different ball club. Like one season they look really good, and then the next season they look like shit. You're just like, what team are you?
Well, it's like if they don't get hurt, you know what I mean? It's a different ball
That's what
club.
I mean. Like the talent level is always there. It's just it's an organization that does not prioritize what it should. I mean, just look at the fact they moved them from San Diego to LA. I mean, their priorities are always about the dollar, not about the product on the field. Like they don't care enough about their players.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care. That's for sure.
That's for sure. But all right, everybody, we will wrap it up now. We are the Three Amigos and a podcast, guys. We're 6 weeks away from our 100th episode. So if you're listening to this, stay your ass inside so we can have a huge 100 celebration. You know what I mean? Like we can't let this go for
At home.
stay home. Because
People just need to stay home.
yeah, like at this rate,
Stay
it's like
home.
sometime in May or like June or whatever. stay home so we can party it up.
June of 2021.
I miss you guys. It's tough.
We're gonna turn to people by then.
But all right, everybody, Three Amigos in a Podcast. Go check out FNX Fit. Use our promo code 3Amigos and get 15% off. And we will see you guys next week.
See you.
Later.
You guys don't have to hang up, just as an FYI. Oh, Ryan left. All right, later, Brandon.
Later.
Oh, wait, he joined.
Why did you say I didn't have to hang out?
Well, I was just saying, if you guys just want to hang out after, not talking about sports. I don't know.
I'm here.
What else are you doing? We had Brandon. Brandon stayed on, and I was like, oh, Ryan left. And then he left.
No, I got it. Not doing anything. My interview went well today, though.
Yeah, I meant to ask you about that. It was good?
Yeah.
Did they offer you